Hi everyone and welcome back to Successful Living. Today I have a video for you all about to-do lists and how you can maximize your life, maximize your time, and maximize your efficiency using different to-do lists. I know to-do lists are a thing, some people love them, some people hate them, but I think having a system within having to-do lists is the perfect way to go. I don't believe in having one running to-do list because that list goes longer and longer and it's impossible to get through them, and it just makes you feel stressed and underachieved in general because the list is not getting shorter. So I believe in breaking things into different categories, different to-do lists, and in this video I'm going to be telling you which to-do lists I use and recommend, and then you can pick the ones that suit your life. Okay, let's start with the classics. The first one is obviously a daily to-do list. I love batching my time, but I also have a written to-do list for my day. I use my planner for this. I love having this every day so I know what my focus is, what I need to get done on that day. Instead of having to, look into that list, look into this list, I create a to-do list for my day the night before, and in the morning I batch my time on Google Calendar, looking at this to-do list and looking at the other things that I have to do. So, daily to-do list is an absolute must. The second one is a weekly to-do list. Obviously, you have things to do every day, but there are some things that you can do any day of the week, but you really need to get done that particular week. These are generally a little bit more like smaller things, like you have to do laundry, but you will do it when you have the time during the week. So you can't really put it on a certain day if you're not like planning that deep, which I do, but I don't know if it's a thing that everybody can do. So having a weekly running list is always great. It makes your week focus really clear in my opinion, and these are a little bit more flexible. So I recommend a short but sweet weekly to-do list as well. And the last one in the classics category is the monthly to-do list. This is more of a monthly goals list for me, and this is because I don't think that you can have a monthly to-do list in general. Again, it will be a very long list in general, but it's nice to know what you want to accomplish that month. So it's something between a monthly goals and a monthly to-do list. And I really think that again keeps you focused and keeps you in check with your goals in general, your long-term and short-term goals. So I recommend, if you're someone who is like planned or who wants to be really planned, to also do this, but it's not the crucial one in that classics category. Okay, now we're getting into the really nitty-gritty of this. I recommend having project-based to-do lists. This could be, if you're employed, this could be obviously projects and work. It could be also, like projects in life. It could be, if you're self-employed, projects in terms of like similar things that you do, admin things, or like admin to-dos, or business development to-dos, or strategy to-dos, or meetings to-dos, stuff like that. So I always love to categorize my to-do list as a self-employed person. If you didn't know, I have multiple businesses and I'm a serial entrepreneur, and this makes me so efficient. I can't even explain to you. Definitely try to use project-based to-do lists. And the tip I can give you in that department is actually, as you're going on and adding to your to-do list on that, project management tool that you use, which I prefer Trello, as you see, I recommend you adding the time that you think that you need to complete that task, but also adding a priority tag to it. I like to use 3 priority tags. The red one means urgent, the yellow one means important but not that urgent, and the green one means one day, like I should do it, but it's a one day in the future kind of thing. I have a video on my channel all about prioritization, and I will leave the link to it in the description so you can check it out if you want to know how you can actually use these tags and how you can prioritize your tasks. Before I move on to the next category of to-do lists, I want to also mention one more thing. Obviously, there are tasks and to-dos, but there are also ideas, and it's really important to separate these two things. What I love to do is I also add ideas to these project-based to-do lists, but I add a 4th label to these things in blue, and it means it's an idea. It's a nice idea that I saw. It's not a must, it's not a to-do, it's just an idea for me to look into, for me to think about, and maybe it becomes a task or it becomes a to-do, maybe it doesn't. It is really important to separate it, because if you don't, and if you think that it's another to-do, then again, your list is just getting longer and it's really not something that you should be doing. And your to-do list actually should only consist of the things that you really think that you should be doing in the future. So make sure that you're separating good ideas from actual to-dos. The next one is a learn list or a personal development list, or like in general grow list. I also put it in my Trello system, in my to-do list system. This is something where I see like a podcast that I want to listen to, a book that I want to read, a video that I want to watch, a website that I want to look into, generally things that I want to consume as content. They're not necessarily to-dos for me because they don't make me run my business. They don't help me like run my life, but they help me grow and run my life or business better. So they're a separate list, and what I do with this list is when I have extra time or when I can multitask, which we will talk in next week's video. How to make your, how to use your time better will be next week's video, just saying. And you know what you can do? You can subscribe now and you'll be notified when that video is up. It's free, so go ahead and do that. Anyway, going back to the learning or growing list, I like to use it when I have the time. I also use it on the go, which I will talk about in a minute. But this is another thing. Again, I want to look into it when I feel like it. I make time for it every single day. It's one of my daily habits that I really, really care about. So I have a list of things, what I need to do for personal development. And I think accumulating a list like that makes you really on top of everything in terms of personal development. So you don't have to think about, okay, what do I do today to learn something new, The next one is one of my favorites, and I know that you think I'm a nerd. I'm a little bit of a planning nerd, you're right about that, but feeling efficient and productive is just something that motivates me so much, and I think it would for everybody, so that's why I'm sharing all of these with you really. Anyway, this is to-do on the go list. Okay, the idea of this is, if there's a task, if there's a to-do in my life where I can do in the tube or while waiting for my doctor's appointment or, whatever else where I'm on the go basically, why would I spend time on it, when I can be doing something else where I can't actually do on the go? So basically, like if you need to read a blog post, why would you read it in an environment where you can actually film? You can read it in the tube, so you can maximize that time there. So what I do is I keep a list on my phone on the reminders app, and I create this the day before I know I will be out and about, and I just make a list of things that I can do on the go, and I just go through them in the tube. Well, actually, you know what? Let me put a B-roll here showing you this in action. This is a perfect example of what happens on the way. It was a 1.5 hour tube journey. I did half of the things on my to-do on the go list, and now I had a phone call and I had to come to Burger King to have it just before my meeting over there, and I thought there would be a nice cafe or something. Anyway, I'm at Burger King, plugged in my phones, waiting for the phone call to happen, and it just got cancelled. So I have now an hour in my hands. I don't know, I wouldn't have known what to do with it probably if I wasn't me. I would, scroll Instagram or whatever. But now that I have that list, I'm actually going to finish so that I can read more or do something else or, take off from anything that is on my Trello lists on the way back. So that's how you adjust, that's how you maximize time in action. Multitasking at its best, that's what it is. So if you're not doing anything at all after this video, just go ahead and create a to-do on the go list on your phone. You will thank me later, I promise. The next one is a follow-up list. This is a new thing for me. What happened is, since I have a lot of, business partners, people I work with, sometimes I have to follow up on people or things, as I'm sure you do as well. You write an email, you send it out, and you think that you've done your part. That is what I used to do as well. But if you don't get an answer, that thing is off of your to-do list and off of your mind. But if you don't get an answer, that thing is not really completed. So you'll need to go back to it. But if you don't have it anyway written, and if you trust the other person to complete it, which sometimes doesn't happen really, I think you should have a follow-up list. What I do is, after I write an email and I need an answer to, continue another task, depending on the answer, I will just add that on my follow-up list, and every once in a while, maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, I go on that list and I see, okay, I got an answer to this, so the next step for me is this, and I add that item to the relevant to-do list. I check this, and if that didn't happen, I just send a follow-up email, just reminding that person that I need an answer on that. So if you're someone like me, if you need to follow up on things to continue, doing other things according to the answer, a follow-up to-do list is a great thing to have. Another one is actually having people to-do lists. If you have business partners, or if you have partners or people that you share your life with, which I'm sure you do, family, friends, husband, wife, anyone really, I think having these person-based lists are also great. What I have is I have a list with my husband, so it's called pour list, and I write down, okay, we need to think about the alarms in our house, and I write it down there. So when we have our next dinner brainstorming meeting session, I pull out that to-do list and I go through the things that I need to discuss with him. And then after I discuss with him, obviously, if I say, okay, we decided that we need to text this person regarding our alarm systems, then I will add that item to my to-do list. Does that make sense? I have another one for my business partner. I have another one for my coach, the things that I want to, talk about. I have another one with my dad, because my dad is actually my partner for one of my companies. So, we have to have a running to-do list for that business between us. You can share these lists with these people so they can have a look at it, or you can just keep them for yourself and bring these topics up when you're having the next meeting with them. I know there are so many to-do lists that I just talked about. You don't have to apply all of them. If you think that it's complicated for you to do all of these things, please don't. Start basic, start using one or two, and then if you feel like it's helping, then you can increase the number of to-do lists that you have. I think having a system within to-do lists will help you relieve your mind a little bit about the amount of things that you have to do. So I think it's going to be really useful. But like I said, I have been planning, I have been organizing, I have been, optimizing my lists, my tasks, my time for a really long time now, actually over 10 years. So maybe this is a little bit excessive for a beginner, but start using one. And please let me know in the comments below which one you're going to start using today and which ones apply to your life the best. Let me know in the comments below. And again, don't forget to subscribe, because we're going to be talking about how to use your time better in the next video. I really hope that this video helped. If you think that it did, I think these two will do as well. So make sure that you go ahead and watch one of these ones after that. And thank you so much for watching. I wish you all a very productive day and a very successful life. See you in the next one.